Hello everybody. Today I wanted to give a little bit of an introduction um, to how to edit, um, how I edit in Lightroom 5. Um, this is when you open up Lightroom, it'll bring up this screen. Um, and I go to Library and then go to Import. And I do this in an untraditional way of using Lightroom. Usually people will always import all their photos to Lightroom. I don't do that because it takes up so much room on my computer, and I'm always moving files around. My raw files I back up all the time, and I don't usually keep them on my computer all the time, um, just because I don't want to lose them. So this is the way I do it, and I would suggest doing it this way too if you don't want the same problems that I have. But anyway, you navigate, import, and then you navigate to the file where your photo is. And mine are in a folder called Photos That I'm Working On. And I've already selected a photo, and I put it in my subfolder as a copy of one of the photos that I want to work on. So I click on subfolder, and then it'll automatically bring up the images in the subfolder, and they'll be checked. So if it's not checked, you just check that box, and then you come over to the right hand side to import, and then it'll import the file to Lightroom. So now you can work on it. This is in the library. It'll switch to library. Excuse me. And then there's if you select the image, then this will light up, and there's lots of things you can do here. You can work with your white balance. Double click it, so it's, and I'll play around with some of these tools here a little bit. You can auto tune. I really don't want to mess with these here. I'd really prefer to mess with it. Do all this in the develop pane so I can see the image more. So when you're in the development window, your first option, well, you have several bars up here. This is the crop tool. This is a spot remover tool, eye remover, graduate filter, and the radial filter, and the adjustment brush. And there are times I'll do that here, but I do a lot of my work in Lightroom, and then I will save it, and then I will open it up again in a different editing software. You're limited by Lightroom as far as you can't really do layers, and there's a lot of other things that I like to do to my images on the creative side. I am more of an artist than I am a photographer. My work would stand out more from editing than an original photo. So that's what I like to work with. But anyway, over here on the right, you'll have your slider for your temperature. You can either make it lighter, or you can make it darker, or more warm. You can make it colder or warmer. And so you just kind of play with these sliders to get the look that you want. So I'm thinking I really kind of like that. Now the tint. The tint, you can go from green to purple. Purplish or a pinkish color, whatever you want to call it. You just kind of, again, you play with the slider to get to what the look that you want. And the snow looks blue. but it is shadowy here, so I'm not really too concerned with that right now. And then you come down to the exposure, and you can increase your exposure, make it brighter. And then you can adjust your contrast. You'll lose, if you go to the white area, you can lose more contrast. If you go, if you go the other way, then you get more contrasting colors. Okay, about there. Then you can bring your slider down a little bit. Then I go to highlights, and I can highlight it a little bit, or decrease the highlight a little bit. And you notice that when I decrease it, I'm getting a little bit more detail. But in this area where that's pretty well burnt out, I got a lot of bokeh effects going on here, so I don't want to. And you'll notice it turns really yellowish here, and I don't like that either, so I'm just going to highlight it a little bit until that goes away. And then I got this nice orangey colors coming on here. So I'll move down to the shadows, and I can lighten the shadows, or I can darken them. And I think I'm going to choose to leave them pretty well dark, maybe even a little more darker. Then the whites, just brings out the whites more, or darkens them. Here I kind of want a happy medium, so you just, like again, you just play with it till you get the look you want. And the blacks, let me darken this. Yeah, I think I'm going to darken it right about there. Okay, so now we'll move down to the clarity, and I can clear this up a little bit. Make it too clear. You're going to add noise to the photo, so you get more detail. So if you're going through for the HDR kind of effect, you can kind of go a little bit, push it a little bit to get more detail. And then vibrance, you can bring out the orange. Yeah. I kind of like that right there. Maybe we can up the saturation a little bit. Vibrance down. Notice my snow is a little less blue than what it was before. I'm getting a good color here, but I'm going to play with the color a little bit more here when we get down here a little bit further. Okay, now your tonal range, tonal curve. Bring these out a little more. For your highlights, you get more tone or less tone in your highlights. I kind of like that right there. And then your lights, you can darken them, or you can brighten them a little bit. But I think I'm gonna leave the lights right about there. I'm getting the good bokeh effect. Hello, and then now I really got to kind of hurry things along because YouTube only allows me a certain amount of time. So now we'll get down to the saturation and luminancy. The saturation, I want a little bit more orange if I can get it, so messing things up too much. And the yellow, maybe a little more yellow. Yeah, that looks good. Now I go to luminancy and orange or darken just a little bit. And then I'm going to brighten. Yeah, leave the yellow right about there. And detail, I can sharpen it just a little bit. Then luminance, the noise reduction. I always get a little bit of noise, so I like to get a little bit of it out. Okay, now that I'm pretty much done with this photo, you can go to print and save it into a file or print it to your computer. But what I do is go to file and then to export, and then I have it so it saves in my subfolder. So I export to my subfolder, and when it's done exporting, it'll bring up the file that I saved it to. Takes a little bit to export. Hopefully it does it before I run out of time here. There we go. And then I'll bring up my file, usually. And there we go. So it saved that file right there. So, but since I don't like to keep it in my catalog on Lightroom, I go to Photo and then remove from Catalog, and then it'll be gone. It won't save up any room there. So, thank you for watching. Till next time. Bye.